Hello, welcome to this update for the Atlantic. So let's see what's happening. We have now these three disturbances. First one in the Gulf, still a 10% chance of formation. So in my opinion, this won't become a tropical system, but it will still bring some heavy rains in Texas there. So be careful there, but I'll show the model soon. And let's see, there's the second system still at a 40% and a 0%. So tropical is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms and gusty winds, portions of the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, and over the adjacent eastern Caribbean waters. Environmental conditions are expected to become more conducive for development when the system reaches the Western Caribbean Sea and southwestern Gulf of Mexico late this week and the weekend. And a tropical depression could form during that time. But the models aren't very excited about that anymore, but we'll keep monitoring. There's this new system there over just Gulf of Africa, so a 40% already and a 10%. So let's see, a tropical wave has just moved offshore of the coast of Africa and is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions forecast to become more conducive for development. Tropical depression could form in a few days, while the disturbance slowly moves west-northwest or northwestward over the eastern tropical Atlantic. This system could produce some areas of heavy rain, gusty winds in parts of the Cabo Verde Islands in a day or two. So we'll also check some rainfall models for that. So first, let's see the general models, what it shows. So first, the GFS. So this is the 6Z. So there's that system there now, might bring some rain there. Then it comes, the GFS is a separate low pressure coming off of that, maybe forming something near the Caribbean, and has that system that developing there, another one developing behind it and spinning around each other and going away. So the GFS like doing bunch of crazy stuff. But let's see, this first system it has it developing the Western Caribbean and hitting Belize there and going to the southwestern Gulf. So we still have to monitor that one. It's not over yet. But let's see the 0Z European. So it has that system there off of Africa trying to become a depression. It might become for a short time. Then it has another system coming at a higher latitude from Africa, kind of struggling. And it has that system in the Caribbean, not really forming into anything. So just on the Eastern Pacific might be something, but the European isn't very excited today. So let's see the icon. The icon is doing some radical stuff because yesterday it was developing that feature near Texas there, and it's still keeping like the moisture there, but it's not developing it anymore, but still keeping a strong disturbance there. Might try to do something, and then it develops this system, the Western Caribbean kind of develops. That's still like very weak, but goes there, might force something in the Gulf of Mexico later. And the new system, it has a kind of forming there too, and the second one, which is more likely to form there in the Eastern Atlantic. So we'll keep monitoring that. The Canadian, first in the Caribbean, it has the system there, not developing, bringing heavy rain to Central America and forming the Gulf there. Trying to form in the Gulf, but struggling by like September 9th, around that time. So, and it has the Eastern Caribbean, a system trying to form there. This could become a short-lived depression. Most models are indicating it. But let's see here, the ensembles from the European next 240 hours still has some members there on the Western Caribbean, but mainly in the Gulf already. So more probabilities in the Gulf, but still could have something by Belize there. And then it shows more support for the system near Africa, and this by September 12th. It shows even more potential later coming off of Africa. So we have to monitor for the Cabo Verde, some rainfall, and generally monitor there, but no catastrophic systems coming. Just have to monitor this one because it might try to do something, the Western Caribbean. And the GFS has ensembles. The GFS is some stronger ensembles there near the Western Caribbean, but like few ensembles, there not much support. But in the Gulf, it has some, and there in the Atlantic, there's a lot of support there for tropical depression, maybe a storm, and even some support by September 12th near the Caribbean there. But that's still some weeks out. we have some time to monitor. So let's see here the rainfall. It shows still some showers and storms throughout Central America, Mexico, and the Caribbean, especially the tropical wave there brings some gusty winds and storms to the Caribbean, and it will continue there, especially like Wednesday in Jamaica, might be more stuff around Jamaica into Thursday as well. And then into Friday, it goes towards Belize there in Central America. Might have a period of very heavy rain there for Central America as this moves there. And be aware. In the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, might be some storms too, especially today, tomorrow, and like Wednesday. Let's see, next 5 days, it shows there around 17, 13 millimeters, 20 millimeters, might be storms there. In Puerto Rico, some storms too. And it shows a little bit more in Santo Domingo, more storms around the Dominican Republic, Haiti, so be aware there. And it shows most of the moisture passing just south of Jamaica, but it has like 31 millimeters, around 43 millimeters in Jamaica as well, especially in the easternmost portion there. So be careful there, some storms and everything. Through Cuba shows more showers, especially storms in the afternoon. Western Cuba's a little bit more. Some showers in the Bahamas, in Turks and Caicos, nothing crazy, might be a storm or two. And then already the next, let's see, next 3 days already shows some Central America there, some 57 millimeters, for Guatemala 48 millimeters, but nothing that crazy, some 46 millimeters in Belize, and more rain and thunderstorms for Costa Rica, Panama, the tropical rains. And be careful during thunderstorms, there might be flash flooding. And let's see some more in Mexico, close to 81 millimeters. Near central northern Mexico, some 82 millimeters in some areas. So some more heavier showers and storms in central Mexico and northern Mexico the next few days. So be careful. 31 millimeters in Mexico City. But then later, when this wave approaches Central America, it already shows next 5 days close to 126 millimeters in Guatemala. Along the Pacific, 134 millimeters, and in Mexico, it shows like 116 millimeters there. And then in the next 10 days, look at this as this wave crosses Central America. Of course, there might be some outer systems near the coast of Mexico and the Pacific, but on the next 10 days shows more than 300 millimeters southern Mexico, 300 around eastern Mexico there. Guatemala shows like 100, more than almost 200 millimeters. And El Salvador, like northern Honduras and western Honduras might be more affected by this tropical wave, but it's like 10 days out, so this forecast will change. That's a lot of time, but let's see, the GFS next 5 days shows more than 100 millimeters near Honduras, El Salvador, might be some heavier storms there. Near northeastern Nicaragua and northern Honduras as this wave approaches, so be careful there. Has some big hotspots in northern Mexico, more than 100 millimeters, western Mexico actually, so be aware there. Some more heavier showers and storms during the day around northeastern Mexico, some 77 millimeters and even more, 98 millimeters, so be aware there. And as this wave approaches, let's see, the GFS has it approaching actually as a system there. The last run showed like a tropical storm even, so it shows more than 100 millimeters around Belize. The Yucatan 178 millimeters. Shows this next like 7 days, shows more around Guatemala, southern Mexico next 7 days. And El Salvador, Honduras shows some very heavier rainy spots as well. Northeastern Honduras and Nicaragua as well. Northwestern Nicaragua shows a lot. Panama, Costa Rica. So yeah, stay safe there when that wave approaches. And we'll see if it will have developed or not. But we'll get some better indications on the next few days. So be aware there. And let's see. This is mainly at the wind gusts, still some gusty winds in the northeastern Caribbean and some higher surf, so be aware especially on Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, into Jamaica like Wednesday and Thursday, even to Friday, so be aware there too. And let's see, in the Cabo Verde, the Europeans not showing much in terms of heavy rainfall. They're showing maybe some storms in southern Cabo Verde, gusty wind there too, but it's not showing anything that crazy there. But the GFS has a little bit closer there. It has like some more storms around Praia and the southern Cabo Verde, a little bit heavier rain there. So be careful. And I know you speak Portuguese there, so let me say this. Pode ter umas chuvas pouco mais forte no sul de Cabo Verde esses próximos dias, principalmente quinta-feira, assim, em Praia e outras zonas. Fiquem de olho nessas chuvas. Good, so let's see the accumulation from the GFS. Next 5 days, it shows in the southern Cabo Verde, shows more there, a lot, and a little bit more rain further north too. The European has very few, just some showers in the southern Cabo Verde, but and then the icon has in the south there mainly a storm or two, so be aware. And this mainly it, so stay safe from the heavy rains and everything. We'll talk more about Texas in the severe weather video, and yeah, stay safe.